Okay, so how to write an email? Of course, we have discussed about the email marketing, you know, etiquettes or email writing etiquettes. Now let us discuss about how to write an email. Okay, it's not that difficult topic, but it will be really easy. There can be a skeleton, okay, that can be followed, which will be very easy. Okay, so whenever you try to write an email, as I've already said, okay, start with the email subject. Okay, for example, this is email inbox. You go click on this compose option, automatically you get this box. Okay, try to maximize it so that you are very comfortable. Okay, so there is a box called to where you have to enter the email address of a person whom you want to address. Okay, and there is something called CC, which is basically called carbon copy, which means along with the person whom you want to address, if you want other people also to know about this content, okay, you can add a CC. Okay, by clicking on CC, you can add some extra email addresses. And there is something called BCC, okay, which is basically blank carbon copy, which means if you add an email inside this, people who are receiving the email, they can never see it. Okay, this is invisible, so we should avoid doing this. Now whenever you go to create a new email address, refrain from adding the two email address at the first slot. Don't enter the email address. For example, okay, I have another email addresses like, okay, santanakumar3907 at gmail.com. Now what is the risk involved in this? Okay, whenever I go ahead and add the email address and start writing, and unfortunately when I hit enter or I click on send button, I may send this email incomplete to the destination. So what I do is basically I will always make sure that I remove the email addresses and I will complete writing the email, and finally I will enter the recipient address. Okay, now what I'm going to see here, this is the subject. Okay, the subject, what I'm going to say is a sample email to demonstrate email writing process. Okay, so this is my title. Remember, the title of the email should communicate the complete information about what I'm trying to convey in the message. When people read the title, they should know what I'm going to discuss inside. That's very important. So start with the title, a sample email to demonstrate the email writing process. Okay, so I can go down. Okay, I'm writing an email live, right, so that you can understand. Okay, so live with the, start with the email. Okay, subject. Okay, so subject of the email. Okay, the next thing is, and start with the salutation. Okay, you can address people, okay, with several terms. Okay, start with the salutation. You can also add other addressing factors like, dear Mr. Master, okay, hi, hello, hey. You can add like this. Okay, you can also add like hi. You can start with the hi. You can start with the hello. Okay, you can start with the hey. It depends how closely you are trying to, connect with them. People also use the word howdy. Okay, right, so how are you doing, something like that. Okay, so howdy, how are you doing? Okay, now what you can do, start it with like, okay, dear. Okay, dear is not going to be very personal, it can be very generic. Okay, or you can also write something like hi. Okay, now either you use a dear or hi, it will be something like dear Mr. Okay, Rajan, dear Mr. Rajan. Now, next to the, salutation, okay, we need to, okay, paraphrase the content. Okay, if you are sending an email to somebody for the first time, try to write introduction in such a way that they can recognize you. Okay, so this is Amudha Kumar and I am a professional digital marketing trainer. I am a professional email marketing trainer. Okay, this email is response to the application I received from amudhakumar.com. Okay, somebody has applied for my course through amudhakumar.com and I'm writing this. So this is Amudha Kumar and I'm a professional digital marketing trainer. This email is a response to the application I received from amudhakumar.com. Now Mr. Rajan knows that okay, yeah, I applied for amudhakumar.com around 2 days back. Now this confirms that my website, I mean he applied through my website. Now I'm going to tell him the real purpose. Okay, now look at the subject, a sample email to demonstrate email writing process. Okay, I would like to send you this email as a sample to help my students. Okay, sample help to help my students. Okay, to understand the process of writing an email by following the etiquettes. Okay, now okay, I suggest you to share your insights about the same. Now this is just a small email that I have written to somebody. Okay, I'm keeping it very plain, I'm keeping it very clean. Okay, so what I do, I don't enter the CC first or my to address. I write the title, I write the content, I make it simple, crisp, email is ready. And after writing the email, I will go through this email completely to avoid any spell error or mistake. Then finally, I will go to the receipts. Then I will enter the email address. Now, I make sure that I enter the two email addresses only after proofreading it. Otherwise, I won't be doing it. Okay. Now, so this is done. If I want, I can add a closed captions of any other email addresses like amudhs14207@gmail.com. This is yet another email address that I have. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is gmail.com. Okay, so this is CC. So the person who receives two email address can also know about the CC also. But when I add BCC, okay, that is not a genuine business practices. That is refrain from adding BCC to the email address. So this is one such item. Okay, so in the upcoming sessions to come, if you are sending out a sign up email, if you are sending out a sales email, promotional email, okay, that can be written in a different format with respective content. So you can go ahead, click on send. So this email address will be sent to other people. Now click on the view message. So this is a message I sent to somebody. Okay, this is how this email address will look like. Okay, now let me say this email address is not delivered to the person on the other side. Okay, now this will say email address failed. There is no account found. Sorry, this email address is not found. Okay, I'm supposed to add my number 14207, but that is missed. So it says like, okay, this email address is not found, which means this is called bounce. Bounce means the content was not delivered to the person. Okay, so what we have seen till now is a process of how to write an email along with the etiquette process, the right way to do it. This will help you to write email to the professional people and create an impact on people's mind. Okay, so people knows very well that, oh, this is a very good email. Okay, and they may have a great respect on us.